Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Echo Aftab, and in our today's class we will be understanding about consumer surplus. Myself Aftab Bhai. So as usual, let us start our class with an example. So on the screen you can see there is a person, and let us assume that he is a great movie buff. He watches all the movies and he is a big fan of Mr. Amitabh Bachchan and Amir Khan, and he is waiting for the movie release Thugs of Hindustan, and he is dreaming, or you can say is imagining, that the movie hall will be full with the crowd, as most of the people would like to see the movie first day first show. And he is such a great fan that he is ready to buy the ticket above and over what is available during the normal days. So let us assume that is ready to buy the ticket at rupees 250. So with the intention of ready to spend rupees 250 to watch this movie, he goes to the theater. And when he goes to the theater, what does he see over there? He sees that the theater is entirely empty. No one is there at the theater. And he is very happy to see that, as he will be buying the ticket not at rupees 250 but at only rupees 150. So very happily he buys the ticket at 150 and enters the theatre hall. So the first slide and this slide is the crux of the concept of consumer surplus. So what did we see in the initial slides? He was ready to pay 250 rupees, but now you can see he has actually paid just rupees 150. So put it in words, the consumer was ready to buy the ticket at rupees 250, but actually he has bought it at rupees 150, and the difference is of 100, that is 250 minus 150. So we can say, friends, that the consumer over here, he wanted to buy the ticket at rupees 250 because for him this 250 was giving the utility worth rupees 250. But when he actually goes to the theatre and he pays less amount than 250, he has got more utility by spending less money. So he has spent less money and his utility is more. So this 100 rupees which is surplus for him, he can make use of it to buy anything else and gain additional satisfaction, get additional utility from buying something else. He may buy popcorn in the theatre, he may buy cold drinks in the theatre, or he may spend it anywhere else. So this is what this 100 rupees is, what is consumer surplus. So friends, after understanding the simple example about consumer surplus, let us see what it is. In the book Principles of Economics, page number 103, Alfred Marshall has stated that the excess of the price which he would be willing to pay, here he means the consumer, he would be willing to pay rather than go without the thing, or that which he actually does pay, is the economic measure of this surplus satisfaction, and that may be called as consumer surplus. So here you can see in the red there is something called as willingness to pay, and in green there is something which is actually what he pays. So the difference between this is the economic measure of his surplus satisfaction, which can be called as consumer surplus. One more definition, according to Professor Taussig, what he says, consumer's surplus is the difference. As you saw the difference in the earlier slides, it is the difference between the potential price and the actual price. So what was the potential price? 250 rupees. What is the actual price he paid? 150 rupees. So what is left over is his surplus, consumer's surplus. So this is the definition of Professor Taussig. In terms of simple equation, consumer surplus is equal to what one is willing to pay minus what one actually pays. So here everything lies between willingness and actually what he pays. Or you can say consumer surplus is equal to total utility minus price into units consumed. So it's very clear what is total utility. Total utility refers to the utility that a person gets after consuming all the units of the goods at his disposal. And when we speak about price into units, so that is, in other words, I can say price into quantity. It is nothing but, friends, it is our total expenditure. So when total utility and total expenditure is there, when you deduct the expenditure from utility, what remains is consumer surplus. In any case, if the total utility is equal to the total expenditure, then what will happen? It means the consumer surplus is 0. So always remember, the total utility should be more than the total expenditure. Only then the consumer will have some amount of consumer's surplus. So this is the basic equation for us to understand consumer surplus mathematically. Going ahead, Marshall in his book Principles of Economics has taken the example of tea and price. So here, friends, in his book Principles of Economics, Marshall has spoken about tea in terms of pounds and price in terms of sterlings. So, but here for our simplicity, we'll take it as tea in terms, not in terms of pounds, but in terms of kg, and price in terms of rupees. So let us see what he has said. He has taken the example where he says a consumer is ready to pay for 1 kg of tea 20 rupees. And here, friends, please try to know what the thing is. Here this 20 rupees is the price he is willing to pay for 1 kg of tea, because he feels that he will be getting the satisfaction by buying 1 kg of tea worth 20 rupees, worth 20 utils. So this is what is Marshall's idea, and this is what is Marshall's cardinal analysis is. So here 1 kg of tea, the consumer is willing to pay 20 rupees, because for him from 20 rupees worth utility he is going to get by the tea, and he is ready to buy more if the price is less, because from the second unit or from the second kg of tea he may not get the same level of satisfaction as he was getting in earlier unit. That is the reason his utility will be less, and that is the reason he will be ready to pay less amount. And this is what is you have seen in law of diminishing marginal utility. As the consumer increases the consumption of a commodity, what will happen to his marginal utility? It goes on diminishing. So similarly, if he wants to buy additional unit, third unit, he will buy it only when the price is less, or for lesser price he is ready to buy more. So here automatically we are also in a way seeing the law of demand, because law of demand is derived from the law of diminishing marginal curve. And similarly, for every additional unit, you can see the willingness to pay the price will go on reducing. So this is a simple table where if you see, it is the same table which comes for law of demand, it is the same table which will even come for law of diminishing marginal utility, and the same numbers can be helpful for us to understand consumer surplus. But now the point is, this is about his willingness, but in the market, as we all see, there are no different prices for different units. There is a common price, and here let us say the actual price the consumer pays is just rupees 2. So what is happening over here? For the first unit, his willingness was 20 rupees, but what he has paid is actually just 2 rupees. So the difference 20 minus 2 will give him the consumer surplus, and that is what is our next column. So how to find the consumer surplus? Willingness to pay and actually what the price is paid, the difference between that is what is consumer surplus. So similarly, from the second unit, what is happening to his consumer surplus? He is getting 12 units of consumer surplus. From third unit he is getting 8, that is 10 minus 2, and from the fourth he is getting 4 units, and so on. So you can see altogether the consumer is buying 7 units of commodity, and the 7th unit that he wants to buy, he is willing to pay only rupees 2, and what he is actually paying is rupees 2, and that is the reason the consumer surplus here is 0. Now if you see, the total units that he has bought is 7 units, and the total amount of price that he was ready to pay for 7 units was 59 rupees, but actually how much he pays is 14 rupees. So here you can say this 59 rupees worth of utility you are supposed to get, but for that worth of utility of 59 he is actually paying only 14. So the difference between 59 and 14 will give us 45, and that is our consumer surplus. So here you can see, I would like to say the price willing to pay is the total utility that the consumer had anticipated and he has got it, and P into Q, that is the total expenditure, is 14. 7 units he has bought it for 2 rupees, so 7 into 2 is 14, and that is what is his total expenditure. So as I told in the slide where there was an equation, so here friends, so total utility minus total expenditure will give him what we call it as the consumer surplus. So I hope this table is clear for you all. Now let us see the same thing in the form of a diagram. Diagrammatic representation of consumer surplus. So in the diagram there are two axes. On x-axis I have taken units of T, and on y-axis I have taken the price. So as you have seen in the table, in the schedule, for the first unit the consumer was ready to pay 20 rupees, but how much he pays actually? He actually pays only 2 rupees. So the difference, that is from 20 to 2, that is 18 units of difference, is his surplus. So this red column shows consumer surplus. So this is with regard to the single unit of the commodity. Now if you want to see what is happening for all the 7 units, the consumer is ready to pay 14 rupees for second unit, 10 for the third unit, 6 for the fourth unit, 3 for the fifth unit, 4 for the sixth unit, and 7 for the seventh unit. He is ready to pay only 2 rupees. And this 2 is what you can see, this is the demand curve of the consumer, and this green line is telling us the actual price the consumer is paying. So the red dots is telling about the different levels of price the consumer was willing to pay, and this green line is showing the actual price. Now you can see from this thing, the entire shaded area is his total utility. So let us assume the entire shaded area is A, B, C, D is his total utility, and from this total utility there is some amount that he has spent. So the total expenditure of the consumer is A, E, C, D. So this is what is his total expenditure. So you can see we are having both the things. We are having total utility, the cream shaded area, and the total expenditure, which is the green belt. So the difference between total utility and total expenditure is this particular area, that is what is called as consumer surplus, and this consumer surplus is the triangle ECB, which is highlighted in red color, and this is our consumer surplus. And this consumer surplus, friends, in economics we make use of a topic of mathematics which is called as integration. So when we want to calculate the area under a curve, we make use of integral calculus. And this integral calculus, what it is and how to calculate consumer surplus, you will find it in my playlist Mathematics for Economics. In this playlist Mathematics for Economics, there will be a video on integration. So still I have not started with integration. Very soon I will bring up this particular topic about calculating consumer surplus with the help of integral calculus. So this is how we are trying to build up the bridge between theoretical economics and mathematical economics. So as of now, just for your information, let us see that how important the topic consumer surplus is, and how to calculate consumer surplus becomes the mathematics for economics. So with this, friends, I have come to the end of today's topic. I hope you enjoyed this concept of consumer surplus, and very soon I will be coming up with the next topic, and that is indifference curve analysis. Here we have finished cardinal utility analysis, and next will be our ordinal utility analysis, and that will be with the beginning of indifference curve analysis. So friends, as usual, thank you very much for watching my videos in Understanding Economics with Professor Aftab, and I hope your support will continue, and you will be watching my videos, you will be liking it, and you will be sharing it. And thank you once again for all your support. Take care. Tata. Bye bye.